Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here this morning. I am Ron Wheat. Beginning in 1970, I served in the 3rd and 7th Infantry Divisions for a total of 6 years. After my Army time, we ran the family farm near Luke Air Force Base for more than 20 years and then became missionaries with Cru in 1998. The last 14 years, we have been with Cru Military. My wife, Marcy, and I helped develop the Bridges to Healing ministry. Next. Who are the military? Well, this is how we define the military. Obviously, they are anyone who is serving in the U.S. Armed Services and all veterans. Not so obvious is anyone related to them. Spouses, children, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, all of them. Together, the military, is a distinct people group. They have a unique experience, culture, and language that never leaves them. There are an estimated 500,000 active duty and veterans in Arizona, plus all of the family. Therefore, it is safe to say there are military in every church and community in Arizona. They are a helpful, service-minded people. Next. How to know who they are. In your church, neighborhood, and community, simply ask. In church or meetings, ask service members to stand and remain standing. Then ask all veterans to stand and remain standing. Then ask everyone related to one of those standing or somewhere else in the world to stand and remain standing, and sometimes 2 out of 3 people in the room will be standing. It's amazing. Be intentional to connect with veterans personally, one-on-one. Look for the uniform or the hat that veterans like to wear and identifies them, and make an effort to connect. Invite them to special events or ceremonies. This will help you identify them and their needs, observing and asking. Next. Churches are uniquely qualified to meet the needs of the military. Who better does meaningful relationship than churches? You are uniquely qualified to provide biblical and practical education. You are qualified to provide care and support. Your church and members do that all the time. And you are uniquely qualified to provide pastoral care. But you may have questions. The Arizona Coalition for Military Families is a great place to find additional resources and help with any of these areas, especially education, care, and support, with referrals available to over 4,000 screened entities. Next. Match your gifting to the needs. What are you individually and your church collectively gifted to do? Think about that. In other words, what do you have in hand or are already doing? For example, very common is praying, teaching, practical helps, hospitality. There's no need to invent something entirely new. Ask how to intentionally use your gifts to bless the military. Ask yourself and then ask others. The church next door will have different gifts. Consider partnering with them to fill the gaps that you might see in your military community around you. Again, collaboration works. 2 are stronger than 1. Next. Support for you and your church. The Arizona Coalition for Military Families is a rich source of support. To name a few, the Faith Network, you can find expertise, referrals, resources, best practices, and on. Be connected. A quick call or email taps you into 4,000 helping entities available across the gamut, from the VA to financial entities to legal, you name it. And navigator training. Individuals can take a 3 to 4 hour training from the Arizona Coalition and learn how and what is in the Be Connected and how to get to them. And they can assist the pastoral staff or whatever ministry is going on in the church to help get additional needs through Be Connected. Trauma-informed faith community. Sanghoon U has developed this. It's really going and can learn how to be a safer and friendlier place for traumatized people to be and to come together and worship and to fellowship. The Franciscan Renewal Center is just a wonderful source of multiple resources for spiritual healing, and it's usually free. All this is the heart of collaboration. Next. Support for you and your church. Well, what are culturalized resources, as the slide says? It is using the language and common experience of the military in general, and sometimes specific branches of service, to be familiar and friendly to the user. Cru has evangelical and biblical education resources for all military age groups and spiritual experience levels. With Cru, combat trauma is addressed through our Bridges to Healing series, but do not fear. These address the spiritual wounding, which you are qualified to address. The mental and physical trauma should be addressed by the VA and the medical community. The American Bible Society has excellent culturalized resources, as do lots of other ministries. You have many to choose from. You just Google them up or start asking Be Connected and others. Next. The Bridges to Healing series consists of 6 manuals, 1 booklet, and 1 DVD training course. A proven way for trauma healing through Christ-centered solutions. The Combat Trauma Healing Manual is for combat and combat support veterans, and it is gender neutral. Lots of women have now experienced combat, and they need the same healing. The When War Comes Home Manual is written in the voice of a combat wife, but relates very well to all family members, and especially the women in the family. The K-3, grade school, and teenage manuals are designed for parental engagement and very helpful for all that are involved in that. And the Guide for Churches is a small 18-page, time-tested, helpful information for you. Care and Counsel for Combat Trauma DVD training course is 30 hours with a workbook and exams. It addresses PTSD and traumatic brain injury, the role of medical and mental health care, spiritual care, and military culture. It is for lay people as well as professionals. Next. Would you like to know more what to do? Well, are you a church leader? Seek out a champion layperson or two in your church or community that might be interested and get involved. As an individual, seek out your church or organization leaders to support you getting involved. Call Be Connected to ask for help to get started. And I will provide copies of the Bridges to Healing series to you free. Just email me to get started and we'll figure out which ones you need to have. Thank you for allowing me to visit with you today. It's been a pleasure and an honor. To end, please watch this short video by my good friend and ministry partner, Scott Clark.
I had a personal issue with killing. I didn't think that God was going to ever forgive me for doing that. The combat aspect of what we do and how we do things that are maybe against what it is that we've been brought up in the Christian life to believe, it can be difficult. I was suffering with severe PTSD. Cru Military Ministry is an amazing ministry for veterans that created a book called the Combat Trauma Healing Manual. And in this manual, it goes over Christ-centered healing for combat trauma. It goes through forgiveness. It goes through finding a new normal. It just really is an expansive manual that can do so many great things for people because Christ is involved in it. It's not a Band-Aid. It's not an instant fix. It's not something that is going to cause you to be better in a minute, but it is a process that walking along with Jesus, you can find hope. we're allowing the Holy Spirit to come in to each person that's in this group so that they can open up and talk and share their trauma. And the Bible talks about sharing your experiences, your burdens, so that they become lighter. And that's what happens in these groups, is the experiences that we go through become lighter, and the yoke of Jesus is what we take on. It's just not that difficult anymore. It becomes manageable. We get healing from it. And it's just an amazing thing to watch as veterans go through this and see where they're hurting, and then see the healing that happens because the Holy Spirit comes into their lives and they're transformed. It's just been a wonderful journey. The healing that you get from Christ